Welcome to the Menlo Security and Checkpoint Technology Integration Overview. I'm Greg Maudsley, Senior Director, Product Marketing, Menlo Security. Today's IT security teams are challenged like never before. They've got to keep their organization safe from data breaches. On one hand, users and application data are all on the move, and they're unleashed from their traditional on-premises safe havens. And on the other hand, the threat landscape is increasingly insidious, with well-organized and well-funded cybercriminals executing attacks that become more sophisticated every day. Because of this, IT security professionals are deploying highly adaptive security infrastructures, the centerpiece of which is the Next-Gen Firewall, or NGFW. Checkpoint customers deploy Checkpoint Next-Gen Firewalls for their data centers and Checkpoint vSec virtual gateways for the public and private clouds. These solutions can control network access, detect sophisticated attacks, provide additional security capabilities such as data loss prevention, and protection from many web-based threats. But web-based threats are becoming increasingly sophisticated. 1/3 of the Alexa top 1 million websites are either malicious or vulnerable to compromise by attackers. And 1/5 of the top million websites are running software with known vulnerabilities and are also vulnerable to compromise. Even legitimate sites can unknowingly serve up malicious flash, which can infect endpoints with malware such as ransomware. To combat these threats, Checkpoint Next-Gen Firewalls and Checkpoint vSec virtual gateways can be integrated with Menlo Security Threat Isolation, which can defeat threats early in the cyber kill chain. Isolation inserts a secured, trusted execution environment between the user and potential sources of attack. Menlo Security delivers isolation with the Menlo Security Isolation Platform, which executes every session away from the endpoint and delivers only safe rendering information to devices. The integration of the two products at the network layer enables Checkpoint customers to quickly and easily enable isolation security without the need to deploy additional hardware or endpoint software agents. Instead of blocking or allowing categories of site, Checkpoint administrators now have the ability to safely allow any site with isolation and protect users from all web-based malware. Checkpoint customers can easily try the Menlo Security Isolation Platform by steering some portion of their web traffic to Menlo Security's public cloud solution via a rule on the Checkpoint firewall. Let's have Kevin Piper show us how easy it is to configure. Kevin?
Okay, so this will be a brief demonstration of the Checkpoint integration with Menlo Security. You can see here I'm logged into the Checkpoint Smart Dashboard, and I have a very simple rule base, a few rules to allow infrastructure traffic, a rule to allow web-based requests on HTTP and HTTPS, and then your standard cleanup rule. Now, in this environment, I also have the URL filtering rules in place. A couple very simple ones. This administrator has chosen to just block pornography and hate and alcohol, and there could be any combination of categories of sites in there. The idea being that if you know up front that you don't need to isolate this traffic or you don't want your users going to these particular sites, there's no sense sending that off to the isolation platform. You can just block it with the Checkpoint configuration right up front. So the known bad basically block here with these configurations. Now, anything else that is approved to go out and be requested off the internet from a web request perspective will be transferred over to the Menlo isolation platform. And the way that you transfer that on the Checkpoint side is pretty simple. You simply go to your firewall object. If I double click on here, there's a section for the HTTP/HTTPS proxy, and you can see in this screen that I've actually activated this, and I've said web request, just in a very simple configuration, port 80. Web requests coming in on here are going to be transparently forwarded up to the Menlo Security Isolation Platform. All I have to do after activating that this Checkpoint firewall is going to be configured as a proxy, the next step is to point it to the address of the Menlo security isolation platform. In this particular case, it's proxy.menlosecurity.com. This is a cloud-based version. You could also install this on-prem, and that would be your own private addressing scheme and so forth. So we support both modes, cloud or on-prem, with this integration. In this very simple couple of clicks here, I've managed to tell the checkpoint firewall that when it goes for anything but that gambling and hate and those other categories that are predefined to be blocked, any other web requests, go to the Menlo platform here at proxy.menlosecurity.com. Okay, that's all you have to do to get it configured. To actually see it working, we can bounce over to a test virtual machine. This virtual machine is configured, again, if you remember back to the rule base, alcohol was one of the sites that was configured to be blocked. So if I try Coors.com, I'm of course going to get the checkpoint block page that says, the standard, hey, this site's been categorized as alcohol and has been blocked. Now, for the next part, I'm going to go to a website that hasn't been blocked, and actually you'll get to see that through the isolation platform. So let's just go to CNN.com. CNN.com will load up. Again, there's nothing special about this end user system. I didn't have to go and configure anything on the end user. No endpoint client software, and in this case, no configuration of any PAC files either. It's simply using its default routes through the network to get out, and it's going to the checkpoint firewall. The checkpoint firewall saying, well, it's not alcohol, because I'd serve up the block page for that. It's some other site. I'm going to allow you, but I'm going to redirect you through the Menlo security isolation platform first. When that happens, we open a virtual container, we fetch CNN.com, we run all the active code in the isolation platform, and then we send down just the rendering information to the local system. So from the user perspective, they don't know notice any difference. They can mouse over, cut and paste, run videos. All of it is their normal web experience. Normally, when you were gonna go and take a look at that actual page, you could do a view page source, and if you were in a traditional non-isolated version of CNN.com, if you, for example, just typed that into your browser right now without Menlo, you would see a much different view here. This would be literally thousands of lines of code. I think CNN is upwards of 3,000 plus lines of code. With the Menlo isolation platform in place, it's literally just a simple set of 20 lines of code here you can see. And all that's happening is we're setting up a secure tunnel to the isolation platform where we're doing the rendering and the fetching and the execution of that page, and then we're just using that secure tunnel to pass down the very benign, non-active flavor of how to paint the page. So there you have checkpoint, couple of configurations on this administrative side, and you're up and running with isolated browser pages. Thank you for watching.